Today I've come to North Buckinghamshire, which is a really good area of the country for one of our rarest species, the black hairstreak. And I've got someone with me today who is a species champion for the black hairstreak. So he's a species champion for the Upper Thames region, Stuart Hodges. So Stuart, thank you very much for joining me today. Can you just tell us briefly what it is that you do as a species champion?
Well, encourage other people to go out and find it. Other people originally used to go to woodland because that was the only place where they would find the black hairstreak, or that was the only place where they would actually expect to find the black hairstreak, and they were restricted from going onto private land. So all the records came from sites that were visited quite regularly, probably only about 25 or 30 in this region. But we needed to widen it out. We knew originally that they were very under-recorded and that people needed to search farther and wider.
So because the black hairstreak is such a rare butterfly, that's why there are species champions that coordinate survey effort for it. So do you have your standard volunteers that will go out and monitor the same sites every year?
So yes, we do have people who will go out and monitor, but a lot of it is done by casual people showing an interest in the butterfly. So they're keen, some of them actually on this site, where someone from The Guardian came and wanted to see the black hairstreak, just because he wanted to see all the butterfly species in 1 year. He came here.
Is that Patrick Parkman?
Yeah, on a miserable day, and we didn't see it. And other people individually want to see all these species in the country. Other people just want to photograph a black hairstreak, and they go out and look for them. Then they want to find out where they might find them, so they come to they look at the branch website where they can pick up me as species champion.
If they do go to a site that haven't been recorded, it's quite exciting, isn't it? To kind of to claim the first one.
I found a black hairstreak.
Yeah.
Someone went to a local garden centre about 3 or 4 miles from where they've been recorded before, only this year. And they saw a black hairstreak in the garden centre.
So some people might be thinking, well, black fawn's really common. Why is the black hairstreak so restricted in its range? Do you have any thoughts on that?
Very difficult. I can only refer to references in the past in that this was the Burnwood hunting forest, where they preferred extensive blackthorn thickets for wild boar, so it was only cleared on a rotation of 25 to 40 years, generally within woodland and around woodland. The vegetation was cleared on 15 to a 25-year rotation, so the longer rotation we think probably was a benefit to the black hairstreak.
Has changes in farming practices had an impact as well with how farmers might manage their hedgerows?
The farmers, although I am a retired farmer, the farmers generally are flailing the hedgerows to such an extent that it doesn't benefit them at all. But we would like them to at least leave their hedgerows to grow on for 3, even 4 years. This does have an issue with what they do with the brash after the hedgerows have been flailed, and it looks a real mess. That also is particular benefit to the brown hairstreak. So we would like field corners to be allowed to grow up into thickets. Any irregular areas in the boundary of a hedgerow, they could allow just hedgerow thickets to grow up.
Excellent. So if people want to be surveying for the adult, then I guess they just contact you in May to prepare for the flight period, and then you can direct them to where might be a good place for them to look.
So the people on the list, I let them know before the flight period has started, quite often I've been out looking for pupa, or we've had a combined pupa search, so we can say we found a pupa.
Is time count something that you do?
Yes, I was told at the outset a good idea to do time counts, so that's what I've attempted to do. So what I ask people to do, if they've just said they've seen 7 black hairstreak at a certain site, then I ask them how long they were looking at suitable habitat. From that we can gauge numbers seen per hour. So if they've been 20 minutes on a site and seen 20 black hairstreaks, so they've seen 20 in an hour. And it varies year from year. It has been in some years as low as 2 per hour. One year it was even less, to up to over 17, nearly 18 per hour per hour's observation.
So compared to a lot of other butterflies then, that's relatively low, isn't it? So there's a lot of effort per sighting, if you like, isn't there?
Yes, with the short flight period, you've got to take into account that you probably get several days when it's no good going and looking because the weather's no good. You can be limited to perhaps only 20 days in a year when you can stand a good chance of seeing the black hairstreak. Doing transects, we also see a few black hairstreak, but they do not regularly occur on transects because you've got to stand. So looking for black hairstreak, I would look over the blackthorn here. To begin with, probably 1 in 4 you would come down low, the other 4 you would see up there, the rest you would see up there. So generally speaking, you don't expect them to see them low down. They can manage up there on the aphid honeydew, quite often on oak and ash. They will live on the aphid honeydew, do not need to come down. What quite often will bring them down, as in this site here, is privet. So if anybody was managing for the black hairstreak, I would suggest they put some privet in their, in their planting. They will also come down on blackberry flowers is another common plant that they will nectar on, and thistles and less common plants as well.
So partnership working with organisations such as the Wildlife Trust are particularly important, aren't they?
The Wildlife Trust have been a particular benefit to us in that they have bought up areas of ordinary farmland to turn them into wildflower meadows and things like that, which has enabled us to look at these. We've been able to get onto these sites to see if the black hairstreak is there, and we've got quite a large area, probably 16 square miles, where the black hairstreak can be found on hedgerows quite regularly during the flight period.
Excellent.
So it's been a real benefit having the Wildlife Trust in there and these sites. Other sites where we get access to, we can quite often find the black hairstreak, but quite usually this is, as with this site here, we've got a bridle way. Other sites where you've got footpaths, you get access to, you can then find the black hairstreak in these sites. We can't go into privately owned land just to look for the black hairstreak unless we've got prior permission.
Working with a partner like the Wildlife Trust obviously is beneficial because of data sharing as well, because they will be doing their own surveys and sharing them with you, and vice versa, and that then informs their management as well, doesn't it?
They took over a new site, and within 2 years they fed us back records. They were themselves going out and looking. We have quite a lot of interaction with them. The Wildlife Trust, they get information. I usually send them a report. So some of these organisations and Natural England have had reports for 15 or 20 years, so they know where the black hairstreak has been seen when they need to give advice. I've got quite a long list of landowners I keep informed. Quite a few landowners get a black hairstreak report. Some of them show an interest and get engaged with me in discussions. I quite often send them habitat management advice as well.
So if people want to find out more information about how to get involved and how to get involved in surveys, where's the best place for them to find that information?
They go to the website and then they will find my details on the website, and they can pick that up from me. If they contact me, always a little bit wary if they might have been collectors in the past, but usually I pass on all the information, hence the fact that I've got 50 odd people on one group that I keep updated 2 or 3 times a week during the flight period.
For more information about butterfly conservation and the work we do, please do head over to our website, which is where you can find out more information about what's happening in your local area. So if we just have a look here, we can see all the different branch websites that we've got throughout the country, and there's Thames. And so just looking at the branch website page on there, and here we are. Here's the Thames branch homepage. And like Stuart said, this is where you can find out contact details from him. So under butterflies, species champions, you can see here all the different butterflies that the Upper Thames branch has got species champions for. There's Black Hairstreak, and there are Stuart's details, together with copies of previous Black Hairstreak reports. So thank you very much for watching. Do take care. Bye.